Magical hello everyone, Madam Z here, the head mistress of Madam Z School of Witchery. So glad that you can join us today for today's training. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope that you are doing well wherever you are tuning into, whether it is my Facebook page, my YouTube channel, or listening to this on the podcast. Welcome. So glad to have you here. So today we're going to talk about, my nose is itching, sorry. The different types of clairs and some of the tips and tricks and exercises that I do and that I teach in my development course on psychic development course on how to develop these, how to bring these out into the open, how to tune into these kind of energies. But before we get started today, my magical brew is just a regular old big old glass of iced tea. It's kind of warm here in Austin, Texas today. So earlier this morning, I did my morning meditation and my morning yoga flow. I'm on a new kind of regiment. So every morning I do my meditation and drink my detox tea and do some morning yoga flow. So, but today is just regular iced tea because I feel today's just going to be a warm day. So let me know in the comments below what you are sipping on today. And if you are here, hello, welcome, catching me live. If you are just catching the replay, hit hashtag replay for me and I will give you some replay love. So as you hop in, let me know if you are interested in developing your clairsentient kind of thing, psychic development and your clairs. What I will refer to now going forward are clairs. Everybody has a little bit of clairvoyant capabilities, but with this one, we're going to talk about the differences and how to hone those skills. And you may have a combination of different ones, whereas I have a combination of them, and it just depends on the situation and what comes up during a session with me. So let's go ahead and hop in. I have notes over here so I don't lose track of what I'm supposed to be talking about. So welcome again to today's training. So first, let's talk about the different types of clairs. There's many different clairs, but we're just going to talk about the 6 different ones that everybody talks about. Mostly you hear about 4, but they've just added a couple new ones, and I feel that the more we get in tune with our senses, that this list is going to grow. But let's talk about the top 6, so at least you know which ones that you need to work on, that you're interested in, and what is coming to you. So clairvoyance. This is having clear seeing. This means that you see things through your third eye, and we're going to talk about in depth the third eye. And this is like seeing images, flashes, something like a movie kind of scene of what's happening in the past, present, or future events. So clairvoyance is having clear sight or clear seeing. Number 2 is clairaudience, and that's having clear hearing. Now, I have some of this. I have a combination that I talked about earlier. Oh, you have clairvoyance. Ah, cool. A lot of people have clairvoyance. I don't. I have clairaudience and clairknowing, which we're going to talk about that too, and clairsentience. So, clairaudience is about hearing and seeing, or someone who hears information in the mind. You may hear voices, you may hear sounds, you may hear people calling to you, you may have a ringing in your ear, which indicates that you are clairaudience. But you will actually, and I get this all the time, I hear people calling my name all the time. I hear people noises all the time, like banging and door slamming, people walking, that kind of thing. That's clairaudience. And an indication of that you have clairaudience capabilities is that you hear a ringing in your ear. So that is one of the signs if you are clairaudience. So Number 3 is claircognizance. So this is what I have a lot. I can just go to an object or a situation, or when I'm in a reading with a client, or I'm in a place, I just know, and I know the outcome. I can't tell you how I know. I just know things. So this is claircognizance. This is clear knowing. This is information or knowledge that you actually don't know, but you know. There's no way that you would know the situation, but for some reason, you know the outcome, or you know how this person is feeling, or you know a certain type of events. So thoughts just come out of nowhere for no reason. For me, they just pop in and out, and you're just like, this makes no sense to me, but I'm going to tell you what I know. And so when I'm in session, I tell my clients, I'm going to tell you what I know. It doesn't make sense to me, but here's what's coming up for me, and this is what I know is going to happen. And so that is claircognizance. That is having clear knowing. So clairsentience is about having clear feelings. Okay. You know how you get that kind of ominous feeling, like I feel like something bad is going to happen? That's clairsentience. That is feeling information from a person. You may have like anxiety attacks, or you may know how a person is feeling. That's part of being empathic. You just feel things. You can walk into a situation and you can feel the energy. And I have some of this also. So I do have a combination, and I know you guys will have a combination too. Oh, so you have clear feeling. That's really cool. Good. So the thing about clear feeling is that you have to be able to learn how to protect yourself, because and another thing is with that, you have to learn how to discern the difference between, are these your feelings or these someone else's feelings? And this is why you need to practice your gifts, because you need to know the difference. You need to know how to release the stuff that is not yours, especially with clear sentience. So good. I'm glad that you have clear sentience. Thank you for commenting on that. But I want to make sure that you know how to release that energy if it's not yours. You have to be able to recognize all of these signs. So number 5 is clairgustance. Or gustance. I clairgustance because I'm a little bit German. So this is having these last two are the newer ones. So this is clear tasting. This is someone that really where you just have a situation, you're like, why do I taste coffee or chocolate or sweets, or why do I taste something in the air, kind of like that is clairgustance. This is you having the clear tasting. You're like, I can just taste the heaviness, or I can taste what the dirt feels like. So this is like when you taste something in your mouth, especially metal. Metal is very potent when it comes to clairgustance energy, clairgustance, however you want to pronounce that. And you know that you're not eating anything, you're not drinking anything, that taste comes to your mouth, and you're like, God, why do I feel this? Why am I tasting this? It just feels like icky? It tastes icky. Or you taste something sweet, and that could be indication, like, if you're doing a session with someone, an indication that, hey, your grandma likes strawberry jam, because I'm getting strawberry jam in my mouth. That's clairgustance. And number 6, the very last one, is clairlance. And I'm pronouncing these last two wrong. I know I am. Clairlance. These are the lesser two, so they're not really as known, but this is clear smelling. So this one is someone who can smell odors. I get this sometimes, not as much as the clear knowing, but I smell tobacco a lot. I smell kind of earthy, dark, not dark energy, just grounding in like dirt and tobacco and smoke and sage. The real potent kind of smells is what I will smell. So Perfume is another one that you might be able to smell, and flowers is another one too. Oh, so you guys, I do have a combination. Awesome. If you have a combination, that's very interesting. Thank you for commenting on that. If you have a combination of these, let me know in the comments what your combination is. And these last two, like I said, are probably going to be brand new to you. So you're like, oh yeah, I was wondering why I taste things or why I smell things. So these two may be a newer type of clair for you, but type in the comments if you have a combination of these. So let's do some, give you some tips and tricks and some exercises on how I develop and work with my clients on how to get them to step into their psychic senses. Because a lot of witches or a lot of people or mediums or just individuals in general kind of are afraid of what they will find on the other side of working on their psychic gifts. That's why it's important to learn these, to control these, to master these, to develop these, because you can use all of these senses in one session to make a powerful reading for someone. I use these in readings. I use these when I do paranormal investigations. I do these in clearing. I do these in divinations like Ouija boards, or when I am trying to clear out energy. I do these with connection to past loved ones. So you can use any of these type of clairs when you're working with developing your psychic skills. And also if you want to bring this into your practice, this is another way to help your clients on a deeper level. So let me give you some tips. So number one, you really need to work on opening your third eye. This is where you're going to see things. This is where you actually, the starting point of working with all of your clairs is opening your third eye. So here's some things that I teach in my psychic development course, and I teach my clients. There's a couple of things you can do to work with your third eye on opening your third eye. I anoint my third eye with sacred oil. Now, there's lots of sacred oils out there. There's actually a third eye oil out there. You can make an amethyst oil, which I have, but I love clary sage oil and I love rosemary oil. So those are my top two oils, but really you can use any oil that, if you don't have any of this, but you have olive oil in the kitchen, use olive oil, because olive oil is very sacred oil. So the second one is tapping. So what you want to do is you just want to tap your third eye and close your eye and visualize becoming open and open and open and wider with every single tap. And that's the tapping exercise to open your third eye. Woo! See, a little bit too much. So another thing that I teach is using crystals to open your third eye. There's lots of crystals out there. I know fluorite is a really good one, but I love amethyst and I love clear quartz or selenite for these. And what you want to do is you can just place it on your third eye and visualize your third eye opening. Or you can do a spiral around it and you want to bring it out and spiral and bring it out. So you're opening your third eye, okay? The other one is writing a sigil on it with your hand or with your sacred oil. Now, when I'm working with clients, I'll actually demonstrate this and you will have your own sigil. It could be a spiral, it could be a pentagram, it could be a triple moon, it could just be a dot, it could just be any kind of sigil that you resonate with and that you are connected with opening your third eye, okay? So number two is use Zener cards. Now, Zener cards are just cards that have images on it, and you can get them off of Amazon. And I know you've seen them in movies, and what is it? The Gift is a really good movie that uses Zener cards. and she's a psychic medium in this small town, and she keeps seeing all this stuff. People come to her for like solving crimes. If you haven't seen that movie, see that movie. It's called The Gift. So Zener cards. And they're just cards that have different funky shapes, like and symbols, like wavy lines, stars. I think they have a plus sign on there, circles. So those are really good. But if you don't have Zener cards, and I'm going to show you the cards that I created, not only for an oracle deck, but I use this in the psychic medium development class, is any card that you have with kind of simple images on it. So a couple of things that you want to do is you can just sit, if you don't have a partner, or if you want to telepathically do this, that's fine with another psychic partner. You lay your cards out face down, and you pick a card, and you have this image of this card, and I'll go through this, okay? And you say you have a psychic development partner that is in another room or sitting across from you, or even across the country. You set a certain time. You're like, today we're going to do psychic development. You place your cards out, you pull one, you guys are connected, you opened your third eye together, and so you're telepathically sending out messages. And so you want to concentrate on the image and of the card, and then you want to place it down, or you can place it in your hand or on your heart center, and you want to close your eyes, open that third eye, and you want to create that image in your eye and send it out to the person that's supposed to be receiving it. Okay? Practice, 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 and we'll talk more about that. Now, I'll show you the cards that I use. And this is the deck that I created. This is the back of it. And this is the front of it. These are oracle cards, but these are really good for working on images, sending images, because they're very simple. So let's place one out. Okay, and this is the one that you pulled. Is a crystal. So you want to send the crystal image vibration out to the other person that is supposed to be receiving it. And this is a raven. So maybe you pulled this card and you want to send the image of the raven out to someone. Find a deck that has really simple images in it that you can use to create that energy, that exchange of energy to work on your gifts. Number 3, this is what I teach my in-person classes to do, is we all will go to an antique store. And you want to, before you walk in there, open your third eye. Then go to a booth or an object that you are drawn to and see what feelings or sounds or tastes or knowing that is coming from that object, or what you're feeling. Maybe you want to hold that object in your hand if you have that feeling, right? And you want to know what kind of feeling is coming from that object. Or maybe you just have claircognizance, right? So maybe you just want to know what that object is, what you just know about that object. Or because if you pick up an object and you're like, this belonged to your grandmother, and this object was lost, or maybe this object was hidden in a chest, or maybe this object has some bad kind of mojo on it. So you get to work with all of your clairs and developing those clairs. Number 4, oh, really? So you've done that before. Tell me how your experience was with that, because in a lot of my clients, and you will find this also, people are kind of weird about going to antique shops because of the energy. It's just too heavy for them. So if you've experienced that, let me know, because a lot of my clients are like, no, I don't want to go in there because it's just too overwhelming. That's because you haven't honed in on your clairs yet, how to close them, how to open them, how to remove them and release them. And that's another thing that we need to talk about too. So number 4, ask your spirit guides to come in and show you signs. Open conversations and help you work with your gifts. They will show you through one of your clairs. And you don't have to get all crazy in depth 20-minute meditation and do I have to know your name and blah, blah, blah. Have a realistic conversation. You know, if you don't know your Claire's name, right? Not your Claire, but if you don't know your spirit guide's name, that's okay. Just ask for your spirit guide to come through. Hey, you know, Nancy, what you got for me today? What do I need to know today? What Claire's are we working on today? And I'd like to work with you on today. So give me a sign. I want to work on, you know, my scent, my Claire knowing. Help me develop those, and they will come in and they will work with you. So, oh, you work with spirit guides. So that's great. Good. So you're one up on a lot of people. A lot of people get frustrated because they don't know the spirit guides, but it's okay. So number 5, which is one of my favorite things to do, is go to a graveyard and just sit, open all of your third eyes. Sorry. Open your third eye, open all of your Clairs. But this is for the more advanced kind of people because you need to develop these. But when you're ready, open them up and you would start to hear things and see things and feel things and taste things. It's a little bit overwhelming, so you may want to just concentrate on one. Make sure you bring that grounding stone with you and make sure you know how to sage and release all of those energies so they don't follow you home, because you will have sometimes some spirits that follow you home because like, oh my God, I can't get anybody to hear me. I can't get anybody to speak to me. You know that I'm here. Oh, please, I want to follow you because I have to have a conversation. And so you need to know how to release those, what you need to do when you're leaving the graveyard. But that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other course that I teach. So number 6, practice seeing auras. So here's what I teach. So you want to have a person or a picture in front of you, either face to face or on the computer or something, and you want to open your third eye, the exercise I told you on your third eye. You want to slowly do the tunnel vision and kind of close your eyes so they're barely kind of open. And you want to blur that image out, but you want to start looking at the energy around them. It's almost like you're seeing through them, and you start to develop and looking at their auras. Is the energy or the light close? Is it big? Is it bright? What color is it? And so you want to start practicing. Oh, you do auras. How do you feel about working with auras? A lot of people love working with auras. So let me know in the comments also if you love working with auras. Thanks for that, Nancy. I appreciate that. Number 7, meditation, which I've been doing a lot of lately. This is important to do when you need to get yourself in headspace and open your clairs. It's a work in progress, but it is like a muscle memory. You need to learn how to drop yourself into a situation, open up your clairs fast, and shut them down when you need to. Meditation is a very kind of potent exercise that I teach and that I do myself, because when you get really good at doing your clairs, you can open it and shut it when you need to, and then you can drop yourself into that meditative state, open your third eye and work with your clairs, and I'm done, I'm out, shut it down. So meditation is a really fast way to drop yourself into your headspace of working with your clairs, but you need to master it. So it's like a muscle. You need to work on it. You need to work on it. So meditation, yes. Meditation, start, if nothing else, start. If you're like, man, I don't even work with my spirit guides, work with do some meditation, work with them. Okay, meditation is easy for everyone because not everybody works with spirit guides, just like not everybody works with angels. Everybody has different guides, different ways of connecting. So but it's going to take a lot of practice for that. So don't give up. You don't have to do 20 minutes of meditation, blah, blah, blah. Just do 5 or 10 minutes. Do what you can. Do what you can do. So number 8, visualization. So this is about working on your clairseeing, your clairvoyance. What I do is works with fine tuning and helping your third eye activation. It's like seeing things in front of you. So I get a flower or an object or something that I'm drawn to, and I put it in front of my face. And I study it. I study the colors. I study the lines. I study the patterns. I study the tiny details of this object, how the light hits it. And then I close my eyes and I visualize me holding this object in my hand. And I ask myself, and I go through my Claire's list. What does it feel like? What would it taste like? What does it sound like? What do I know about this object? And what would it taste like? What would it feel like? Would this object feel happy or sad or heavy or light? Especially with flowers, is like what would a rose taste like? Or what would a stick of cinnamon taste like? Or what would a crystal smell like? So I go through all of my clairs when I'm working with the visualization. And then I keep a journal of that just so I can go back and watch my development of my clairs. So number 9, this is so important, and I keep stressing this to everyone. Join a psychic development class, because this is about practicing. You're not going to be an expert on day 1, and we're going to talk about that too. You need to be in a psychic development class along other seekers, because you will learn tips and tricks from other mystical people, an exchange of energy between this hive mind of seekers and learning people and experienced people. And you can practice your gifts with these people. It's about learning and supporting each other, because these people will never say, no, that's not right, because that's not the type of people. You need someone who is really going to uplift you, empower you, support you during your psychic development, and who understands you and gets you during your psychic development, because you're going to feel a little bit discouraged about it. You're like, man, I got all this stuff that's coming through. I'm not hitting on anything. This is not my thing. You're going to want to quit. But with these psychic development community, we encourage you to keep going, keep doing it. You're doing great. Just because you didn't get the first time doesn't mean that you don't have psychic gifts. It just means that you're either not ready to open those gifts yet, or you just haven't created that Claire muscle memory yet. So they will encourage you not to give up, keep going, practice. They love to practice on each other. So join a psychic development class. And number 10, my last one. Release any expectations of what you think and what you've heard that clairvoyance is, or the clairs should be. Release it completely, of what you heard, what you've seen in the movies, how media portrays it, because it's totally different. And you're going to get frustrated, you're going to be disappointed, and you're just going to walk away from the development. So be present in the experience. Don't shut yourself off. And that is how you work with meditation, is you drop yourself down into the moment. You are present. You are open to receiving any of the clairs, especially if you're like, I don't know which ones I want to develop. I don't know which ones I'm good at. Be open and don't force it. Okay, whatever comes to you will come to you. Don't say, oh, I'm all knowing. You may not be. You may be, clair tasting, or, some other kind of clairaudience or something like that. So be okay if nothing happens. Don't expect the whole, everything to just bust open wide and you have all the answers to everything, and you're helping tons of people, you know, communicate with their dead loved ones or the deceased loved ones. If nothing happens, 90% of when you're working with these clairs, nothing's going to happen. It's okay. If nothing happens, nothing happens. You still did the work. You're still developing your psychic gifts. So sometimes you're just going to have to be with, okay, well, I had a session and nothing came through. It has nothing to do with you. You have to remove your ego and yourself away from the outcome. And you need to be okay if nothing happens. If the earth doesn't shake and, you know, the spirit guides don't come in and you don't hear these loud booming voices and, you know, Thor's and, you know, coming through like you thought he would come through or whatever, it doesn't mean that you are not gifted. It just means you're developing those, you're working on those. And like I said, let it come to you. Don't force it. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this class. I love working with clairs and psychic development. I have a class that is coming up. I think we start January 28th, I believe it is. I'll have to look and see. I haven't even opened the doors of enrollment yet because I have some other things that I need to add to it. I will put a link in the description of how to get on the waiting list. I think there's probably about 6 modules. I'm only taking 10 psychic development people in this class. 1 or 2, I think, seats are already taken, so this is very limited. You have modules, and then you will have the support from me. And we're going to go through a lot of these things that I talked about. And a lot of information is going to be in this course. And I will leave that link below in the description of how to get on the waiting list of my psychic development course. All right, I hope this finds you well. And thank you for the comments. Like I said, if you're catching the replay, hit #replay. And you had a lot of great comments. I know that you guys are really curious about working on your clairs and developing those so you can start working those into your practice. All right, my witchy brothers and sisters, witch on, and we will see you in the next training video. Bye. Bye, y'all. Okay, bye, y'all, for real.